Cowan is just under an hour's drive north of Sydney. It's surrounded by spectacular national parks and nature reserves. The landscape is wild and breathtaking. Tucked away in this beautiful part of the world is a magical water garden that I've wanted to visit for years. Austral Water Garden sits on 7 acres. It's an aquatic paradise with stunning views of the Mugamurra Nature Reserve. Behind every amazing garden, there are equally amazing gardeners, and couple Kevin and Lisa have been managing this paradise in the mountains for decades. So, Kevin, your connection to the gardens here goes back to childhood.
Yeah, that's right. I worked here with Mum and found the fascination through her.
And your mum got the passion through her parents?
Yeah, through her father, William Roberts. He purchased this 7 acres up here.
And so, Lisa, you came into it through partnership.
That's it, yes. We met quite young, and I used to come up here on weekends and watch Kevin working, and gradually I got the bug as well.
It truly is another world, you know. Once you get into it as a collector, you start and you get fascinated and you add more and you learn more, and it is truly another world having water in your garden.
And is it going down into the next gen?
I reckon so, yeah.
As they were kids, they loved jumping in the ponds, christening a pond when it was, you know, first built. And they love growing up here, throwing slime at each other and the whole bit.
These concrete rectangular ponds look different to others in the garden. They were built by Kevin's grandfather in the 1940s. They're like 70 years old.
Yeah.
And still going strong.
Well,
within... Yeah, okay. All right. How do these ponds work exactly?
We have our stock in them so people can pick and choose. We whip it out, put it in a plastic bag. It's all done for them. They can take it home, place it in their pond or water bowl.
Now, anyone who's got a water feature knows that you've got to look after the water quality. How do you keep it so clear and clean?
Well, basically, it's how nature does it. The right balance of plants. The lily pads provide shade, so that's limiting the sunlight that penetrates the pond.
So it doesn't get as hot?
Yeah, it doesn't get as hot, and sunlight kind of can encourage algae to form, etc. There's no elaborate filtration systems, pumps or anything. We have always...
relied on the plants. The plants do the work.
Native fish are a great way to go. Small little mozzie-eating cold water fish that are frog-friendly and a great additive to your pond.
They peck at a little bit of algae around the edges, so they play a part.
So for anyone looking at all of these lilies here, where do you begin? How do you categorise their differences?
Basically, the two main groups are hardy or European. So they are more the Monet style that he would have used in his garden. The brilliant magenta, red one up there, escarboucle, excuse my pronunciation, and the other one, Malacelia albida, beautiful, simple white.
Structurally, are they all the same between the tropical and the hardy?
There is a difference. The hardy are the rhizomes. The rhizome is the thick tuberous root part of the lily, whereas the tropicals are a bulb.
Because the hardy varieties start earlier on, they flower from October through to April, and the tropicals come on from December onwards, basically up to around April, May. If you can include one of each in your pond, you do get this extended flowering time.
Are there any other differences between them?
The tropicals are highly fragrant. You can just be walking past a pond and you'll get a waft of their perfume. It can be quite intoxicating. Let's just get one for you, Costa, and you can have a smell of it. There you go.
Whoa, that is intense. That is such a strong bouquet.
No wonder the Egyptians revered these plants. They walked around with them on their heads.
Wow. All right,
So
well, let's keep going. Just like the Egyptians. Now, Now, it seems appropriate that this particular variety gets its own pond almost.
Yep, well, this is the magnificent lotus or sacred lotus. Spectacular this time of year. Quite a large grower, revered by Hindus and Buddhists, I believe. They can be used in a large pond or a decent-sized water bowl. They are summer flowering, loving lots of sun.
I mean, the structure of the leaf, just the way it sits there, like literally a water bowl itself.
Yeah.
And the finished flower head is just a piece of architecture, isn't it, Lisa?
Yeah.
Apart from the showy lilies and lotus, many other water plants are necessary for a healthy and attractive water garden.
Some of the plants that you don't notice at first are some of the most valuable. The submerged aquatic, this being a giant snakeskin valsinaria, a native, does wonders for water quality, spawning areas for fish and small frogs. So it's like a little filter. I mean, they actually filter the water through their leaves a little bit. That's something a little bit unique in a pond. This one, a marginal plant, Bormia, again a nice Australian native plant to have in your pond. Can tolerate quite deep water. This one, red stemmed, Thalia, so it kind of gives a real tropical look to your pond, I think. Adds height. Frogs love to sit on it.
Yeah.
But, this is, our show pond, and we kind of display them in a way where they look the best, Leaving a gap between them is a real sort of Monet-style. It's the best way to show them off.
Is this what you do it all for? Is this your real love?
Yes, this is my happy place.
You can't help but feel the serenity when you're surrounded by water gardens like these ones, and makes me understand why Monet spent so much time painting these superstars, the water lilies, in their myriad of colours and shapes and forms. While we can dream about an aquatic wonderland like Kevin and Lisa's, we can also get started by planting out our own small version in our backyards. For those gardeners who are a little bit daunted by the idea of transitioning from soil to water, don't worry, we've got this. So when it comes to creating a water garden, what are the most important things you need to consider in choosing a water bowl?
The size, the depth, the material that they're made of. This one being a lightweight fiberglass or a polymer resin, as that one is.
Yeah, look at that. It's pretty light.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you can also include the ceramic bowls that you may have to seal the bottom and maybe, to make them waterproof.
And then the next step, of course, is choosing the plants to go in there. Lisa, where do you begin?
The most important thing is the depth of water. So 30 centimetres is the minimum depth. Any deeper is better. And we try to create 3 levels in the pond. So the submerged aquatic is great beneath the water. And this one's a myriaphyllum. It's a little Australian native plant. It's in the shallow water creeper group. So it likes the edges and it's sort of like a ground cover in the water. And then we would put something like a tall marginal in, and they create height. So this is an antique taro. They like shallow water as well. So it likes around 20 to 30 centimetre depth of water. Then we would put the beautiful water lily in, and you could put 1 or 2 of these in, and that has the floating leaf. The hardy variety are early flowers, so they get their leaves in September and they start flowering in October, and there are many flushes over the seasons. It's also nice if you can fit 2 water lilies in to get hardy and tropical. So this is a tropical variety. There's its flower. This particular one's called green smoke, and these have a continual procession of flowers over a 6 or 7 month period from around late November, December through to May, June.
Is there anything specific that you do to get all of the plants pond ready?
We recommend putting gravel or coarse river sand on top, just to create a barrier between the mud and the water. Keeps your pond a bit cleaner. We sort of recommend to cover your pond around half-ish to 2/3 in various plant life. That's a general rule of thumb.
Yeah. Fish would be an addition. The little Australian native fire-tailed gudgeons are a good choice.
Oh, yeah?
They will eat the mosquito wriggler. They're very clean and easy to look after. They're also frog-friendly fish.
What's the real value of having one of these in your garden?
It adds a little oasis to a garden that brings frogs, dragonflies. You can sit there for an hour or two and time just disappears because you're just enjoying the reflections and the movement of the fish and plants in the pond. Yeah.
So now you can create your very own water garden, and over time it will become a place of great biodiversity and beauty, with, of course, a water lily changing and evolving across the seasons. Of all the garden features that decorate a garden, this will become one of the most fascinating.